evening, everyone. Okay, so let's do this how we do it every time. I'm sorry for how I look. I have my mum bun in, as you can see. No makeup whatsoever. And it is so cold in this office because there's no radiator. I've got a coat on. It's that cold. But Dan's away in Finland and I'm looking after the kids. So the kids are upstairs in my bed. Sophie has been a freaking nightmare. But we'll put that to one side. And I'm in the office because I need some peace. That is it really. There's a few Easter eggs in here actually that I might eat while I'm in here because they're asleep. So yeah, ooh, there's two Easter eggs. Anyway, oh, and one open. Okay, so I'm going to munch on that while I talk to you. So one of the things I wanted to say is apologies that Dan hasn't done his video. Dan, if you're watching this, naughty Dan. It's only because he's been so busy with this up and coming trip to Finland that he hasn't had a chance to do it. But also, he wants to do it on the proper camera. So even though he's going to make my videos look really shit, but he wants to do it on his camera, which is fine. So hopefully he will do it next week. If not, feel free to write a message to him underneath of how shit he is. Anyway, now it's that time of year where your 2-year-old, nearly 3-year-old is going to start nursery. Yay! Or if you're a first-time mum, it's a bit because it's your baby and your baby's growing up and you might have to have another baby just to like take the feelings away from the first baby. But trust me, it is a tough time. But you know when it's time for them to go to nursery. 1, they start answering back. 2, they're getting there with their potty training. Now I'm talking about 2 to 3-year-olds. Some people's kids have to go into nursery early because they have to work. Completely understand that. But I'm talking about the 2 to 3-year-olds where you have to go pick out their nursery, and you've had them for, I don't know, a couple of years, or you've had a child might look after them and now it's time to go to big school. Well, I always say it's big school, but it's not. It's preschool, isn't it? So it's not quite big school. But yeah, so let's go with a few tips. So tip number 1 when finding a nursery is don't book an appointment if you don't have to. So you might think that's a bit weird because you want to be shown around the nursery. No. You want to go in unannounced when the nursery nurses don't expect anyone, and you can see just how hectic or how calm the situation is within the nursery. So I'm not going to name any nurseries on here because I don't think that's fair, because everything on this video is my opinion and some people might not like that. So that's fine. Absolutely fine. So yeah, that's my first tip. Go unannounced. Now I did that on a particular nursery and there was a little girl backed into a corner with a load of lads, and the lads had like wooden like sticks, and the problem is it was lunchtime when I walked in, so the staff were very much into tidying up the meals and I didn't feel that there was enough staff to the ratio of kids. And it was also a nursery where it wasn't like separate rooms, so you'd have your babies in one room and I'd say your toddlers in another room, and then the kids that are going to start in preschool, and then the next year, sorry I'm stuttering away, and then the next year would be actual big school. So they had three rooms. It was nothing like that. It was all kids into one hall, and I don't know, I didn't get the right vibes. I don't think you do get the right vibes if you just check out one nursery. So I really do think that you need to go check out more than one nursery. So with Sophie, there was one particular nursery I walked into and instantly I felt that it was the right nursery for her. I didn't even have to think about it. The staff were just so welcoming. They were absolutely batshit crazy like I am. They clearly knew what needs the children had needed, so they had the toilets in there. They you know, the little dinky toilets, which is so cute. And they even had a chef. Well, they have a chef. on the premises, and there's menus and everything just seemed clean, and it was a preschool. It wasn't one where they pack away and then they have to get it back out on a Monday morning. It is a preschool, and I absolutely loved it. And I think with Sophie as well, because I was pretty unwell still at that time, I just felt really at ease, especially with the nursery manager. I could actually tell her anything. And I remember there was one incident that I had to, but Sophie had ulcers in her mouth, and they were just not going. And then I found out that actually she'd been taking other people's drinks. And as soon as I brought it up to the nursery manager, you know, we sat in the staff room, and it felt like I was talking to a friend. And yet most people would be quite offended, I think would be quite offended, because obviously they're very proud of their nurseries, and you know, it's their job, and they treat their nurseries as their second home. But no, it was brilliant, and I didn't feel that I was causing an issue between me and the nursery. She actually made it feel like actually I was telling her something, and that there was no way of her knowing that if I hadn't have said anything. Because if people don't complain, us Brits, we don't tend to complain. We tend to just go, okay, yeah, it's fine, I'll let my kid be ill, or, you know, the steak was well done, and I asked for rare, but it's okay, it's fine. No, you know, the more we tell people about there's a problem, the more that they can learn from it, and so can we. So yeah, it was brilliant. So so that's my tip. Tip two would probably be, if your kid is over 2, then personally, because I know this is very opinionated on me, so I'm going to get loads of comments now. Personally, try and potty train them. Just try. I know some kids take longer, and some kids have problems like UTIs and stuff like that. Understand that completely. But the good thing is, if you're trying to potty train your kid, then 9 times out of 10 the nursery will work with you on that. So with Sophie, even though I was working full time, so it was mainly my mum that was doing it, the nursery still supported my mum and me with still potty training Sophie, and literally within a week she was done. Okay, so I do think that if you feel that your kid is ready to be potty trained, then do it. Encourage them. I think that's what parents need to do, especially throughout the kid's life, is to encourage them to do better things. And I think potty training is one of them. I think it's one of the things, if you leave, your kid will be in nappies for a while. And you know, and I remember talking to some teachers, and there's still kids that go into school with, big school this is, not preschool, with nappies. So I would say encourage it, but if you feel that you can't and your child is really not ready, then that is absolutely up to you, and people should respect that. Like, people should respect my opinion as well. So that's tip 2 on potty training. Tip 3, they need to go in more than one afternoon a week, because at the end of the day they will forget. They are kids, so that will make your life a living hell. As soon as you drop them off, they will think they're in some strange place. So doing it more than one afternoon a week, I think, is more positive on the kid. I know you probably miss your child, and that you want them home, and you want to spend as much time with them if you can, but remember, they're not just sitting around doing nothing in a nursery. They're actually learning, and they're learning through play, and they're learning through adults that have gone and done training and know how to talk to them, know how to get them to use their vocabulary properly, you know. And that's another thing, is if your child has difficulty in talking, my Oliver does, then nursery probably is the best place for them to go and talk with other children that maybe can talk better than them. Now, with Sophie, I had no problems with her speech, her vocabulary. She basically was talking as she came out of me. I swear to God, that child does not stop talking, but her vocabulary is amazing, and I think it got better when she started nursery. Now, the difference between Oliver and Sophie is Sophie started nursery when she was 2, and Oliver will be starting nursery when he's 3 and a bit. So there is a year's different, but Oliver cannot do half of the words that Sophie can. So hopefully, fingers crossed, he will be a better talker and a better eater. Oh, if your child is a shit eater, like my Oliver, and we are under the hospital because he's such a crap eater, then nursery is the place, because they learn to sit at a table. They don't sit on the floor or anything like that. They sit at a table with other children and they eat, and they want to be like their friends. They want to go out and eat fruit, which they would say no at home, but they'll, like, I remember Sophie coming back and she's eating pineapple. She never eats pineapple, but at nursery she ate pineapple. So that will surprise you, what they'll eat at nursery to what they eat at home. I don't know how they do it. I really don't. What's another tip to give you? Another tip to give you is when you finally found the right nursery, obviously get their name in, because it could be a really popular nursery. So the one that we're going to is extremely popular. Actually, Ollie's had his name down since he was like 1, I think. So get the name down, and get the name down quick. Also, try and get to know the staff. So if your nursery does anything for adults, you know, I remember going to a quiz. Yeah, I went to a quiz at this particular nursery, and it was brilliant because all the mums and dads came and did something without their children in the nursery. It was really weird because even though you're with a load of adults, you still want to play with the toys. So yeah, I kind of wanted to play with the blocks, but we weren't allowed. So yeah, that was a really good evening. So get to know your staff. What else can I say, really? I think that's it. The only thing as well is that your children will make you feel like shit when you want to leave. So you go in there, they're all happy, they're holding your hand, and then you drop them off in the right place to another person and they will scream. They will scream to the point where you cry. You will either cry in the lobby when you leave them, or you'll either cry in the car just before you drive off. I can guarantee you now, give it 2 minutes, maybe 15 max, they'll be fine. They actually will be really happy. I think it's the kids talk to one another to see who can make their mum feel worse than the other mum. I really do believe that, because there were times where I left Oliver when, you know, because I actually did try Oliver in nursery when he was about 1. He really wasn't ready. Really wasn't ready, which was fine. Every kid's different. Sophie, however, bye mum. Even the first day of school, all these kids crying for their mum. Bye mum. I actually cried because my kid didn't bloody want me. But yeah, so but she's in a whole different category. Sophie is. She's the most confident child I've ever met in my life. But Oliver, I'm sure I'm going to get tears. I'm sure he's going to make me feel shit. But don't feel bad. You're doing the best for your child. The best thing is to send them off and get them to learn through play. And that, my dears, is what nursery is all about. If I have missed anything, or if... Oh no, another tip. Before I leave, don't send them in the nicest clothes. They will get ruined. Don't, you know, the staff people don't care that they're in, I don't know, the Debenhams. Is it Ted Baker? Ted Baker jeans, and, you know, they want to be dressed in Primani, Sainsbury's, Tesco's. Don't send them in the best gear, because you will be disappointed when you come pick them up and there's green paint on your son's white Ralph Lauren shirt. So don't do that. But yeah, so that is it. Please can you leave some comments down below if I've missed anything, because remember, mums and dads do read this. Maybe non-mums and dads read this as well, and they're probably wondering what else there is. Feel free to leave comments. Please can you subscribe? Please can you like? And also follow me on my Facebook page. I'll put the link down below. And yeah, I'll speak to you later. Bye!